ward, which gives you vision of your opponent. So if you have Punch who can hook a hero in, it would be very useful. Okay, so we have the first ban over here, Prophet. So Prophet is a particularly strong hero. We saw him being used in the previous 2 games earlier. He's very good at pushing. If he wants to, his ultimate, which is Nature's Wrath, basically zaps through all of the heroes and the creeps and takes away some of their HP, so it makes it easier to push. He also has a skill which lets him demolish trees so that he has little baby trees, and he can use these baby trees to push down the towers because they can tank the hits from the towers while the heroes are pushing them in. And another really good skill he has is that he can pop in behind people. He can teleport anywhere, which is good for ganking and also good for escaping. And we saw a lot of escaping going on in the earlier 2 games. So we also have, wow, they're banning a lot of heroes real quickly. We have Anti-Mage, the first ban from PMS Asterisk. So we saw him being played in the first match, and he's a very strong carry hero. You don't want him in the game. If he's in the game, then you need to push early so he can't farm up. And we see a ban, Invoker. It's quite interesting that the team, that's interesting because Nazgul actually had the first pick. So it's interesting that they banned Invoker because they could have left PMS to ban Invoker so that they could either pick Invoker later on. So I'm not quite sure why they banned Invoker there. They might be going for something, or they might be trying to confuse PMS. And PMS has also banned Night Stalker, this hero that basically has more abilities during night. So we won't be seeing him. First pick from Nazgul, we have Earthshaker. Yes, he's a great initiator. He needs to get Arcane Boots so he has enough mana to use his Fissure. And he also needs to get Dagger so he can basically blink into the enemies and use his ultimate and basically initiate the team fights. So the first 2 picks for PMS Asterisk, we have Windrunner, an excellent hero who can solo in the suicide lane. She has a skill which enables her to run away real quickly. And we have Ancient Apparition, which has been a very popular pick today. He has a skill that can slow people incoming, coming to push, and he can also help ganks and kill people from far, far away, even if he's somewhere else on the map. He has a skill which he can throw from way, way far away to another area, and it can do a lot of damage. So I did mention it earlier, but if you just dropped by now, I really just like him because you can be right in front of your base, just about to heal, and he can use that skill on you, and you'll just die right in front of your base, which pretty much is not a happy thing. Okay, so the next pick we have from Nazgul, we have Vengeful Spirit, which was also picked earlier. She is a hero that has a targeted stun, a missile, and her second skill basically also helps when they're attacking, and her third skill helps increase the damage of her teammates, and her ultimate can swap people in. So swapping, you can either swap to save your teammates because Vengeful Spirit is a support hero, so you can swap your carry out when he's like dying and then dying in his place, or you can swap an enemy hero who's trying to get away. And we also have Venomancer, who's an excellent pusher with his Plague Wards. But the thing is, you don't want to put them up that early. Well, it depends on who's in your lane, but generally you don't want to use them when they're level 1 because then they'll just feed your opponents with gold. Okay, so it looks like Nazgul, they're being a bit conservative here. They're not showing which kind of carry hero or semi-carry they're going for. So it'll make it harder for PMS Asterisk to counter their main carries. We have a Viper pick from PMS Asterisk. He can be very, very irritating, slowing you and poking at you while you're trying to get away. Viper is quite a good hero to control a lane if you're worried about controlling the lane. And for the online viewers who are listening in, just to let you know, I'm holding a microphone, so I only have one hand to use. So it's a bit hard for me to, I can't ping on the map and such. Okay, so the next ban we have from Nazgul, we have Nikes, who is an extremely irritating hero. I can see why they want to ban him. He can either jungle or he can stay in the lane, and when he's farmed up, he's got the skill which enables him to like basically rage, like look huge, and you can't really target your skills against him. And then he can basically hide into creeps and suddenly pop out when you least expect it. And we see another ban, Storm. Interesting. So Storm can zap in and out, but to do that, obviously he needs more mana. You don't really want to be surprised with Storm zapping in and out here and there. You know, some people like to do a Storm Nikes combo. Nikes can go into his teammates, so you can go into Storm and Storm zaps in, and then he pops out. Yep, so we won't be seeing any of that, and we see another ban, Quab, from Nazgul. Okay, so Quab is a ranged hero that's like a carry, semi-carry, and we see another ban, Broodmother. Okay, so basically PMS Asterisk doesn't want them to push in or have lane dominance with Broodmother. And the other thing with Broodmother, why it's a good ban, is that it can make little baby spiders, and it can control the baby spiders to go into the jungle, or as some people call it, woods. It helps the support heroes level up, and it helps Broodmother, this spider thing over here, get more experience in the lane. Haha! This is my favorite hero, Lich. I've played Lich, I don't know, maybe more than 200 times. Very useful in both Captain's Mode and pop games. He's a support hero. He's got this Nova spell, and he's very good against anyone in any lane. He's got the skill which sacrifices one of your own creeps. It gives him more mana, but the good thing about the sacrifice is that it gives your opponents less experience. Okay, so you level up in this game, you can go up to level 25, and in Dota and Dota 2, you can deny creeps. And when you deny a creep, it makes your opponent have less gold, and it makes them have less experience, which they need so that they can get more skills, level up their skills, and get more HP and MP stats. So we see World Destroyer, who's one of the more recent additions to Dota 2. Dota 2 is still in its beta phase, so not all of the heroes from the original Dota 1 have been added yet. So World Destroyer can have a huge impact in a game, but he definitely needs to be more careful early game. If they can make sure that he doesn't get ganked and he doesn't die so much, then he can have a huge impact in the game. His ultimate is like this huge AoE, like area ultimate that deals tons of damage. Okay, so we are waiting on for the last two picks for this game before it starts. So Dragonite. So we saw Dragonite earlier on being played by Mineski, a heavy carry. And actually, the main carry for Nazgul, I mean, the other ones are generally support initiators. I guess the next after Dragonite would be Venomancer, the one in the middle, but he isn't really a semi-carry either. So Nazgul is really banking on this Dragonite getting really fat, really big, getting those items like Black King Bar, so that he can't be targeted by and Pudge. Oh, this rotting fat dude. And we hear some cheers from the audience. Everyone loves a good Pudge. Wonder who's going to be playing him. And we just need to wait for the countdown to finish, and we'll start the game. So another item that I cannot talk about is Smoke. It's this purple item. When they use it, it makes them invisible to observer wards, the wards I was talking about earlier. And when you look at the heroes, it makes them look slightly translucent. So they will only become visible when they reach the opponents. And we need to pause the game once it's loaded.
10 seconds remaining.
So the reason why I'm mentioning smoke right now, it's because at high level games, teams use smoke all the time to go and gank, because at high level games, teams also use observer wards to watch the rune. So the game is paused right now. So the runes spawn here and here, just one every 2 minutes, 0 minutes, 2, 4, 6, even numbers. Okay, it only spawns in one area. So runes, what are runes? They're like power-ups. You can have haste that makes you run faster, double damage, invisible, illusion that makes 2 copies of yourself that last for a while, and regeneration. There's an item in Dota 2 which is called bottle. You can use the bottle to basically hold a rune for a while until it automatically gets used. So runes can actually influence the game quite a lot. So you'll see observer wards popping out maybe here if they decide to block the creep pool here. Yep, and so that's why heroes might use smoke, because they know if they don't use smoke or if they don't deward. Dewarding is when you use sentry wards or a gem to get rid of your opponent's observer wards. If they don't do that, then their opponents will know that they're coming to gank them, and instead of getting a kill and getting money and getting more experience, they're going to end up wasting their time and letting someone else, like their opponent in another lane, gain more experience and gold because they're not there. So that's why smoke is used quite often in high level games. Also, sometimes smoke is used at the very, very beginning because it helps them run faster to get to a particular area. So I've seen a couple of games where all 5 heroes like go over here, go over there. They try to look for 1 or 2 of their opponents who are sort of strolling along, trying to go somewhere. So if you think that there is no action at the beginning of a game, you're wrong. There could be tons of action at the beginning of the game. It just depends on how the teams want to play it out. And sometimes you might see heroes using smoke so they can run to Roshan faster, because if you certain combinations of heroes can kill this dude over here, he drops this item, which basically lets you revive again after you've been killed. Okay, but I will not be going to look over there if a team is going to kill him, because they will know, they will hear what's going on, and it will give the other team away. So you just have to watch this mini-map online and on-site viewers. Okay, so we're going to unpause the game and start. I won't mention the lane matchups until they actually meet up with each other in the lane. The reason being, if I mention it now, they might decide to switch lanes, because who you face in your lane is extremely important. The ability to draft well is important, but the ability to guess where your opponent is going to send their heroes and in which combination is really important. So sometimes you normally see 1 person mid, maybe 2 top and bottom, but sometimes they go for a tri-lane. Sometimes they have people in the jungle. By jungle, I mean here you have neutral creep spawning over here. So those of you new to Dota 2 and mobile games, why would they want to do that? Because it gives them more experience. It lets the person jungling level up more, and it lets the person in that lane level up faster. So that's why people like to jungle. But in this match, I don't think we'll be seeing anyone jungling. It'll be late action. So we have 1 ancient apparition being caught over here. So, yep, as I was saying, teams often like to do this. They all like to run all together, and it's not like she could have done anything to prevent that. So, in a competitive game, when you're going out to ward, you normally don't want to go out to ward alone. But even if she went with 2 or 3 people, I'm quite sure she would have died, and maybe her teammates might have died as well. So always, always, always be cautious when you're going out to ward early on. Okay, so that's an early first blood over there, but it doesn't really mean anything. The important thing is never to let your hopes go down, never to become demoralized. I've seen a lot of. I've actually played a lot of games where I've died several times and my team still wins. Okay, so let's see the matchups down here at bottom. We have Furry Fish playing Outworld Destroyer. She is up against Venomancer over here. Here at mid, we have Dragon Knight wanting those early levels, and we have Viper over here being cautious because Lich has picked up the Illusion Rune from top and is trying to make sure that Viper has a hard time getting a couple of those early last hits and gold and levels so that once Lich leaves, if Lich in fact does leave, Dragon Knight already has an advantage. So over here up at top, we have VS and Pudge. I'm not sure if they've already seen these other heroes. I'm not going to mention them just in case they don't know where they are. Okay, so let's look down here. So we have AA coming to join OD over here. Now, if you wonder what items they've all bought, everyone pretty much buys the same items at the beginning of the game. You want some branches and regen items, these tangos, clarities, salve to let you stay in the game. Okay, so over here up at mid, now they know who they're up against. They have VS, Vengeful Spirit with a stun and Earthshaker. And over here we have Pudge and Windrunner. Okay, so over here, in this case, we want the Pudge to farm up more than the Windrunner, so the Windrunner is playing a little slightly more support role over here. Well, it looks like they're going for a strong VS. So, as I mentioned earlier, I was saying that, hey, it's a bit strange that Nazgul is going with a VS. Well, going with 4 support heroes. And I forgot to mention, that actually VS can actually be quite a strong, more prominent role. So, Lich is being poked by Viper there. That hurts a lot, as I was saying earlier on. Okay. And over here, down here, let's see how they're going. Let's see the scoreboard. Over here, right, I can't move the mouse to show you, but right at the edge of the graph of the table, you can see a number on the top. So for OD, you can see she's got 14-7 for her creep kills and denies. Okay, so right now it's pretty even for both sides. Okay, so every now and then I'll be popping in and out. The other cool feature about this is that when they get their ultimates, teammates can use this tab to pop out to see if their teammates have an ultimate. So it looks like down here at bottom, they're harassing this Venomancer, going, no experience for you. I don't know if it's a good idea for Venomancer to be using his Plague Wards at level 1 when he's obviously up against 2 heroes, and it's sort of, unless he puts down a lot of them so that they don't kill them, it's giving them experience and free gold. I mean, I would only use it like about here to see if someone's coming up against me. But as you can see, AA over here is going, I'm getting free gold. Yummy. So I don't know if the Venomancer is going to stop doing that or not. You generally want to use the Plague Wards later on when they're harder to kill, when they're about level 3 or 4. Okay. So right now, at 4 minutes, we still have just have the first blood. Everyone's being pretty serious. Okay, just trying to get those kills, get the experience. Up at top, we have VS over here, trying to farm up. Pudge trying to farm up. Okay, we have, okay, so this is the skill I was talking about that lets Windrunner get away real quickly. So over here in the middle, we've got ES's Fissure, which blocked Viper from walking. So this is an excellent fissure. It stops someone from walking away. And just as if that weren't enough, you had the Lich to back up, just in case the Lich needed to slow her with a Nova. And oops, we've got a pause over here. Not quite sure why, but over here. Okay, so generally you really do want your heroes walking about, ganking at mid. That's the difference you will see between high-level games or competitive matches. People actually walk around, as opposed to public matches, the lower tier ones, where you have someone stay in their lane for the entire game, which is not what's supposed to happen. You want to be walking around. That's the donkey. Dota 2 is coming out with new courier model soon. I'm trying to petition for a panda courier. Don't know if that will happen, but hopefully it will. Okay, so over here, when you click on the heroes, you can see what items they have waiting for them at the base. So you need to use the courier to pick it up for them. Okay, so Viper's over here. Viper just needs to be careful, level up, farm up, so that it can be really annoying and slowing people and whatnot. And we have AA over here, just trying to harass Venomancer. And it looks like OD is having a pretty easy job over here because with AA's help, she can farm pretty easily. And as I mentioned earlier, that's what you really want for OD, because if OD doesn't farm well at the beginning, it makes it much harder for her. Okay, let's see, what are they trying to get? He's got a soul ring. So Dragon Knight has this ability here called Dragon Blood, which helps give him increased HP regeneration. And so with Soul Ring, it takes some of his HP, gives him more mana. So that's why it's an excellent item for Dragon Knight or any tanky hero that has a lot of HP regen but like very little mana. So that's an excellent item for him. Okay, what's going on? Okay, looks like they're going to go for, oops. So you see that's OD skill over there. Ro used her ulti, and it looks like they're going to be able to get, will they be able to get, yep, there we go. So A manages to get the Venom over there. I'm not quite sure how much the Venom will be able to hold up without any assistance, because this OD AA supporting the OD combo is making it really hard for the Venom to hold the lane. Earlier on in the game, you just really want to make sure that if you can't farm, you can at least hold the lane or at least not die. So maybe in this case, the Venom might be a bit more cautious, or maybe when the Plague Wards are leveled up, well, now it's level 3, he'll be able to hold the lane a lot easier. We have Pudge over here. He's got a bottle so that he can, basically when he uses it, it helps give him more mana and health, HP and MP. And let's check on the gold difference. So at the beginning, you can see that the Dire actually had a slight gold difference, and now actually the Radiant PMS Asterisk has the gold advantage, but it's not really by that much. It's about a bit more than 500, almost about 600, which is not too bad at this stage. And now they're going after Viper yet again. We have the Fissure going over there. Even though it wasn't blocking her from moving back, she just had 3 heroes over there, so it wasn't like she would be able to escape from there. But, oh, did she buy out to go back? Huh. Okay, so you have to pay attention to where the heroes are. If they're missing from the lane, they probably are out to get you, picking up a rune and lurking there. So actually, even though you have observer wards, as I mentioned, there's something called smoke, and that item makes you invisible to... And we have VS stunning the Pudge trying to walk away, realizing that, oh no, we have the Lich, and he is up from behind. As if that weren't enough, we have Dragon Knight. I don't know why Dragon Knight came along. You don't really need him. You'd probably be better off farming at mid. They're probably like really excited and like, hey, let's just meet up. Yo, what's up? I don't know. You don't really need him there. Normally you would want him to just farm up over here, but hey, since he's over there anyway, might as well push this tier 1 tower. And once you push the tier 1 tower down, as long as the opponent doesn't deny it, you get 1.2 to 1.5k gold, which allows you to buy more items. And actually, if you give the tower kill to one of your heroes, he actually gets more gold than the others. If your team just gets the kill, then it gets divided evenly. Okay, but it looks like they might not be able to get the tower because people have arrived. They're like, no, we're not giving you this tower. And so I don't know if they're going to stay there or if they're going to go somewhere else, because the problem is if you're trying to push a tower but you're unable to push it, all your heroes are there and you're leaving your opponent's other heroes free farming in the other 2 lanes. So you have to decide pretty early on whether can we push this or not. If not, go back to the other lanes so that they're not free farming. Okay, so it looks like they decided, hey, we won't be able to push this tower down. Dragon Knight and ES have decided to go mid because they don't see anyone there. And over here, up at top, we have Pudge and Windrunner in the lane going, no, you're not taking our tower. We're here, go away. And this is a flying donkey, the courier, which is faster. And I don't know if you have been playing Dota, but you haven't been playing for quite some time. The courier, when it dies, it doesn't drop the items. It just goes away for 3 minutes. It revives in 3 minutes. The items are still there, but it gives your opponents 300 gold. You do not want your courier to die. And over here we see a bit of dewarding going on, as I was mentioning. They know this is a popular area to ward. They know that, hey, they can sense where we are. We want to gank them more. We don't want them to have vision of the runes. We're going to deward them with the sentry ward over here. So they don't know what's going on in this area. Okay, so whether or not they decide to counter ward depends on, you know, whether or not they think having smoke is a better option. Maybe they'll just put an observer ward somewhere else, because sometimes when you get into a ward war, it might not be the best thing for your support hero. Sometimes it makes so much, oops, sorry, we missed some Veno getting killed over here by Pudge. Yeah, sometimes it makes more sense for your support hero to get more items so that they don't die more easily. Sometimes you don't even need the wards at that stage because all of your heroes are pushing in the lane. So you don't really need so much vision of the runes or whether or not people are going to gank you, because you're all pushing in one lane. You know that they're going to either defend that tower or not. So it looks like Nazgul over here are going for the tier 1 tower. They got it, and they let the Dragon Knight get that extra gold because they want him to get that money. VS swaps the Windrunner. Windrunner tries to Windrun away, but the disables are just too much. There was a great shackle there, but she was all alone. There's no going away. There's too many disabled. You have a stun, you know, DK gets it. Oh, an excellent hook by Pudge over there. Managed to get VS, but unfortunately has to die, but died in an excellent way, I must say, because he committed suicide. Pudge can rot himself to death instead of giving the kill and gold to his opponents. So excellent hook there by Pudge, and excellent suicide by him. So over here at this point, we have the kills at 7-6. We can see that, oh, the gold advantage has gone back to the dire Nazgul, complicated name. They have a slight advantage by about 3,000 gold. But at this point, you know, you never know where the game might end. Let's have a look at the level difference. Generally, PMS has a higher level for OD, but on the other hand, you know, it's pretty even for the other heroes. But generally, their levels are slightly higher. But then again, Nazgul has more money. It looks like over here Vengeful Spirit has gone for he's banned. Oh, nice shackle by Windrunner over here. We have a Lone Lich trying to get away using the chain to get that kill before he dies, which is a good choice because, you know, what use is keeping the chain if you're going to die anyway? We have Viper going in, trying to poke at VS over here so that her teammates have enough time to come in. Excellent shackle by Windrunner over there. Against the tree we have more support coming in. Okay, so Lich knew over there that she was going to die and said, oh, he was going to die and said, hey, before I die, I'm going to use my ultimate, the Chain Frost. So good reaction there. And over here you can see that, oh, this item over here can be used on you, on your teammates, and on your opponents. It basically pushes you forward to wherever you're facing. This Force Staff over here, which is pretty useful. Okay, we have Pudge over here with an urn and a cloak. And up here we have VS trying to farm some items. I guess. Oops! And it looks like Dragon Knight went after Viper, who was all alone. But it looks like Pudge managed to get away. I think they were basically what happened. They used smoke. They were translucent. I wasn't able to talk about it, but we have PMS Furryfish over here using her skills to get a kill over there, and then pushing herself away to get an easy getaway against those 3 heroes. So although they killed Viper, she managed to get Lich, although I wouldn't say that that is the best swap, because Lich is a support here and Viper is more important in this game, but it's better to get a kill rather than getting nothing at all. So we have VS up. Oh, where did VS go? Okay, we have Windrunner over here trying to get some levels. It looks like she might be going for a mech over here, the item that lets you and your teammates who are near you get more health, HP when you use it, when you activate it. Okay, it's very common hero for
top tower is under attack.
Windrunner. We have Viper going, I'm not going to be scared, I'm going to go back mid. I'm going to try to level up, going for a Vanguard over here so that I'm not as squishy. I'll be able to try to tank what you guys have against me. So an important thing is when you're the mid hero and when you've been ganked a lot, you just need to keep focusing and make sure you keep your cool and focus on farming up and try not to die anymore. That's basically much it. We have a hook. Almost got the ES over there, but not quite managing to get it because they anticipated him going in. So we have the Venomancer over here putting down some Plague Wards, trying to make sure that they don't manage to push this tower down, though it's actually pretty much got quite a lot of health over there. And up over here we have a Vengeful Spirit. Oh, a Shackle from Windrunner. But it doesn't look like there's... Oh, we have Dragon Knight and Lich and ES coming up from behind while they were trying to go get them. So this gank or this push that PMS Asterisk was trying to do backfired because they had like a backstab over here with 3 heroes coming up from behind with so many disables. How could you run away from that? Especially when they were in an area where Lich could use his Chain Frost ultimate, which bounces off heroes, and there weren't that many creeps over here to bounce off of. So it basically did quite a lot of damage on their heroes. So it looks like since they died, it looks like Nazgul over here will go with the tier 1 for the tier 1 tower. PMS Asterisk does not want it to go down. They use that 45, but it looks like it's going down anyway with 4 heroes pushing at it. And while that's going on, they have Venomancer just trying to farm away over here. It looks like he's probably trying to go for a mech over here with these items. A pretty common item for Venomancer. And we have Viper, who's moved from mid to go top to try to get a bit more money. It looks like she can afford that Vanguard right now. Might buy it soon. Okay. So right now the kill difference is 13-12. Pretty close game. And the levels, the last time we checked was pretty close. Still pretty close, but PMS actually does have slightly higher levels than their opponents. The last time we checked though, their opponents, Nazgul, still had more gold. Oh, we see a swap from VS, swapping in OD, because OD does horrible AoE damage. Oh, but we have AA going in. going after the VS. Not quite sure whether or not that VS swap was quite worth it because they lost their Lich and their VS while they only got the OD over there. I don't think they quite expected to have so many people over here right behind their OD, but they did, and so they managed to get 2 heroes over there. But OD is much more important than Lich or VS, so... Okay, so she's got an Ogre. Oh, now it's called something else. Sanity Eclipse. So up at top, we have a Dragon Knight. Over here, he's got a Hood of Defiance. And Lich. Down at bottom, we have Venomancer. So at this point, let's have a brief look at the gold urns. Yep, it looks like the Dire Nazgul has slight advantage, but it looks like it's going back up to be a bit more closer because the gold graph was going a bit more back into the middle, as you can see over here. And the gold difference isn't too much, it's just about 3,000. So at this point, since they got all of the tier 1 towers, that's normal because each tower will give Nazgul 1.2 to 1.5k gold, and PMS Asterisk didn't get any of the tier 1 towers, and that explains the gold difference. So actually PMS is in a good position right now. PMS Asterisk is a good position right now. They've got extra levels, they've got extra kills. The only thing that's working against them right now is that they have less map control because they lost their tier 1 towers. So this game could go anyway at this moment. We have Lich with arcane boots. So some of you might wonder, hey, why did Lich get arcane boots? He's got a skill that gives him more mana when he eats up his own creeps. Well, Lich is a support hero, and having arcane boots helps his team when he uses it. ES also has arcane boots, as you can see. So both of them, when they have arcane boots, they don't need to keep running away to go base. And you see over here, Lich de-warding. It's like, oh, we want to gank you guys, but you have obviously warded. I'm going to guess where you've warded, and haha, I found out where you've placed your ward. Okay, so over here we have Viper. So right now at this stage, Viper has a slightly easier time trying to farm up as opposed to the beginning of the game when they were being really active, going around and ganking. Because right now, Nazgul, they're wondering, hey, are PMS Asterisk trying to push? So do we need to defend this tower? So instead of going to gank Viper has a slightly easier time. But then again, I must say that it's still dangerous because they've lost their tier 1 towers. If anything happens and she needs to run back, she needs to run back all the way over here. And if her teammates want to support her, they can only TP over here as opposed to this area. So if she's over here and they go and gank her, then that's pretty hard on their part. So we have... Yes, they're going in, they're going past this. Well, there's no tower over there. And if they know that wow, the Punch managed to get the ES, this greedy ES, going up to the Punch going, haha, we have 5 people, therefore we're going to kill you. And then realizing, oh hey, oh no, I'm going to die. And then dying before they manage to kill the Punch. So sometimes, even though you have your entire team there, you have to be aware about whether or not you're going to die, and if you're in a position that isn't too favorable for you, because he did not need to die at that moment, so that could have been avoided. So right here, they're pushing down this tower as if it's melting butter. They just had to like hit it a couple of times.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And they've gotten it. More extra gold, more map control. Looks like Viper over here is getting very gutsy, going all the way over there on her own. So at this point, PMS Asterisk, they need to make sure that the towers aren't being pushed down too much because it gets really dangerous for them. It makes it hard for them to gank. It makes it hard for them to farm. And when that happens, then, you know, Dragon Knight over here can farm up. And oops, sorry. While I was busy talking about that, we missed a Vengeful Spirit being ganked over here, just as I was talking about ganking. Oh. So they managed to gank a Vengeful Spirit up here. and yet another kill to add on. But they do need to get these towers. It looks like they might be getting them soon anyway, since they've managed to get them to a bit less than half HP. So down here at middle, we have Windrunner. Windrunner's got her mech now. It looks like she might be going for treads or something. Sometimes Windrunner goes for arcane, but when you're having a bit of trouble farming, sometimes it's better. And what has happened to the screen? Restart later. The virus wanted me to go and update, restart the game. No thanks. Restart later. Okay, as I was saying, sometimes you just need to get some other items. In Dota 2, there's no one set build. It depends on how your game's going, who your opponents are, what your teammates have for their items. And so, you never know what might be more useful for your team. Okay, they have 2 urns. And Viper has her Vanguard and Blade of Alacrity right now. And down here at mid, we have ES who blinked in, very bold. We have Windrunner getting caught in the fight over there. We have all of the heroes of PMS Asterisk trying to split up with the Chain Frost going out quite successfully, splitting up so that it doesn't bounce off them too much. They lost one hero. Pudge manages to hook one, so it's 1 for 1. They got Windrunner, they got ES. Quite an even trade over there. What I must say is that was an excellent response from PMS Asterisk over there, because it was Nazgul who was, whoa! I hooked over there, almost getting Venomancer. So that was a good response from PMS Asterisk. It was Nazgul who knew that they were going in. I think that ES initiated a little bit too early, because as you can see, he jumped in here, but his teammates were all the way over here. So that's probably why he was the one who died. So bit of more timing coordination over here. And since they've gotten the ES down, it looks like they might go push the second tier 2 tower down. So as I was saying earlier on, PMS Asterisk wants to get these towers down so that they can counter this map control that they've lost, since they've lost quite a lot of towers. And it looks like Viper over here using her slow, going after VS over here. And whoa, an excellent hook by Pudge, but it looks like he's being disabled by ES, being pushed away by OD's force staff over here. An excellent shackle by Windrunner, getting these 2 heroes, DK and VS, and it looks like they've gotten DK. Oh my goodness, this is an excellent game. Excellent shackles going on over here. Excellent coordination with PMS Asterisk. Coordination, they managed to disable the DK. The Dragonite was actually quite close to the Pudge, and what OD did over there was she basically banished him away and then pushed the Pudge away into safety. Okay, so for the supporters of Nazgul, you have underestimated PMS Asterisk, but I'm not saying that they are going to win at this point. Well, they've got the gold advantage now. They've got the kill advantage. Do they have the level advantage right now? You have 15, 10, 14, 11, 13. And on the Dire Nazgul, they have 8, 13, 13, 10, 11. So PMS Asterisk definitely does have the level advantage over here. They have the level advantage, goal advantage right now, and they are pushing in. It looks like VS has swapped in OD. They want to get rid of this OD because OD is that annoying to them, but OD manages to push herself away into safety and escape, while Punch said, I am going to tank this damage for you. All of your heroes come here to me, and distracted them from getting OD, and OD got safely away. But at this point, you do not know what could happen. The game could turn around. It is only a slight advantage for them. The goal advantage is only about 3,000, which isn't too big at this stage of the game when we're reaching about half an hour. Okay, so it looks like, what does ES, so ES has pretty much had the same items for quite some time now, because there were a couple of times when he tried to initiate, but his team were a bit too far away. Um, so it looks like he's having a hard time over here, whereas OD has farmed off a Black King bar, which makes it all that much harder for Nazgul to basically eliminate her. They probably are going to go after this Outworld Destroyer every single time there is a team fight because of all of the skills she has. Plus they don't want her to use the Black King bar. They don't want her to use her ultimate and then banish away their heroes or save her teammates from being killed, while they've almost got them. Okay, so at this point, it could be anyone's game right now. But we'll have to see how it goes. It really depends on their timing, their positioning, and how they play out. Do they want to push? Are they going to gank push? Okay, so we see that Windrunner has shackled him to Venomancer to a tree. We have Punch going in, rotting, trying to get. Okay, Lich gets chain off over there. Quite a nice chain bouncing off everyone, but we have Rhodey over here just going, I'm the Lucking Bar, no one can hit me, and then just finishing them. So they lost 4 heroes in that fight, whereas they only lost Punch. So it looks like PMS Asterisk can use this opportunity while all the heroes are dead to probably push. And at this point, we have VS trying to farm up at top. Okay, so this is where you see the strategy Nazgul used over here is that they picked one main character, which is Dragon Knight. VS can be very useful, can sort of be a semi-carry if you let her get the gold, if you let her get the levels in the game. But if it doesn't work out, if you are at a disadvantage, she is definitely not a semi-carry you can win back with. It's much harder to win back with her because she's much more squishy than the usual semi-carries that you might have. So at this point, with Nazgul having VS sort of as their semi-carry, since all of the Veno and their ES and Lich are supports, it's going to be pretty hard for Nazgul to turn the game at this point. But the hero kill difference and the gold difference isn't too big yet. It really depends on how it plays out. A couple of good ganks or a couple of good counter pushes could really turn the game, especially if the team that has the flight advantage basically gets greedy or overconfident, and then they rush in and they're like, oh, we're on the top of the world, we can do anything, and then they have a couple of bad fights, maybe 2-3 bad fights, and before you know it, the game has evened up, and then since they've lost the last 2 team fights, they've lost a little bit of confidence, and then you don't know if the team's arguing. So this is when good teamwork and good team communication and relationships get into play here. When your team starts dying, do you shout at each other or do you support each other? How do you take it? So that's where team play comes in when that happens. So Viper over here with Treads, got that Yasha. Okay, AA with Arcane Boots. Okay, what is going on? They cannot see each other on the map. So let's look at what items they have. Okay, so since the players can hear me, there are some things that I cannot talk about. Looks like, okay, Dragon Knight's over here in the lane, trying to farm up top of it, get more gold. Looks like he's going to go for the BKB so that he can tank more. If he gets Black King Bar, which is the item that Outworld Destroyer, this hero over here has, if he gets that item, then he turns into this huge dragon when he uses it. They can't use the targeted stuns on him, the targeted skills on him, so he can tank so much more, because with this lineup, the VS that they have simply isn't as tanky as other semi-carries, so he basically needs to tank up. He needs that Black King Bar so that he can stay in the fights way much longer, endure the fights, so that Lich can get her Chain Frost off, ES can get his ulti off. But at this case, it's going to be pretty hard because PMS has got AoE from them, slow from a lot of AoE from AA and Outworld Destroyer. Well, Pudge's Rot, which is sort of like some sort of short range AoE. It looks like they suspect that something is going on. AA has used her skill to see what's going on. And meanwhile, we have Outworld Destroyer up at here. Looks like she's going to try to get the item, which some people call Sheep Stick. But it's not really called Sheep Stick. And basically, it can turn... Oh, and they're talking to each other right now. In the chat, you can talk with each other. PMS Bonbon going, no, no, no. Perhaps indicating that they know what's going on. Okay, so she's getting this item over here, which can turn her opponents into an animal. Sometimes it's a chicken. Sometimes it can be something else. Okay, and it makes it harder for them to walk away because the animal is a lot slower. And obviously, when you're turned into an animal, when you turn into a chicken, you can't use your skills. So it's a very good disable. It disables your opponent, plus they walk slower so that you can kill them. Okay, so none of them are in their lanes right now. Let's just check the... So it looks like Roshan has been killed. That means that... Who picks it up? VS picked up the Aegis. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Some people might wonder, why VS? Why not Dragon Knight? Well, Dragon Knight is... Okay, in this case, he's not that tanky. He has, like, same HP as VS. But generally, he's considered to be more tanky. And if the VS dies, it makes their attack damage much lower. VS's third skill over here basically increases their physical damage. So when VS dies, it makes their entire team's total damage much lower. So perhaps that's why they said, hey, VS is really important. You know, Dragon Knight, you are going to get your BKB soon, hopefully. So if you get your BKB, you'll be able to withhold attacks more. We want the VS to have the Aegis so that when she dies, she can come back and we can still have that extra physical damage or when she comes back from her death. Okay. So that Roshan kill was their hope. They're like, it can make or break actually a push when they push in. And even more so if you forget that your opponent has it, which happens sometimes. Probably not in this game, but I've played a couple of games where I forget that they have it, and then a hero revives, and then kills me. So you have to remember when it happens and who's got it. And if you want to kill him again, because he does revive, you should remember what time you've killed him, because he revives every 10 minutes. Okay, so this is especially the case if you use Ursa, also known as Fuzzy Wuzzy. That's his other nickname, but he isn't really called that in Dota 2. So when you use Ursa, he can actually kill Roshan by himself. And that's when you really, really want to take note of what time you kill Roshan. Not only if you want to kill him, but because your opponents might want to get him. And so that's the time when you want to ensure that you are warded up and you can see them when they're going in. Although obviously, if a team has someone like Ursa, that Ursa might just try to blink in so that you don't know they're in there, or they might try to use smoke to go in. And it looks like, wow, we have Odie over here going in, killing Lich, and AA killing Venomancer. It looks like they caught off guard over here. We have VS trying to go after the punch, but the punch eventually gets pushed away, and then VS swaps herself with a punch, which is actually an excellent move because all of her teammates have died. So it was actually an excellent escape move over there. Knowing that the Pudge was on low HP and trying to run away, the VS was like, I'm going to watch you, Pudge. I'm going to swap with you so that I'll be further away from your teammates. Now, it looks like since 4 of them are dead over here, even though...
Dire's top tower
now you
is
see,
under attack.
maybe they should have given it to the Dragon Knight because they were going after him. The Dragon Knight only had about 1.6k HP, not tanky enough. He didn't have his BKB yet, so actually they probably would have gone over him. We have Lich over here using her ultimate. And, they're engaging in, swapping in. The Viper over here. Will the Viper be able to make it? It looks like she's just hitting someone, but realizes that maybe it might be better to go after the Lich instead of the other person over there. But it looks like they're getting a bit greedy over there. The other heroes have revived. They've come out and they weren't able to get these Rex, but they managed to get the tower over there. So good defense over there by Nazgul. Okay, why were they so frantic to defend these two? Because even though they've lost this tower, if they haven't lose these two racks over here, these barracks over here, their creeps are pretty much the same level on par with the creeps over here. But once they lose one of them, and even worse when they've lost both of them, their opponent's creeps get stronger, and what happens is it pushes in, makes it easy for these creeps to push in, and then PMS Asterisk would be able to easily push in here. And a common strategy is let one lane push in, wait until it's pushed in over here, and then hold your opponents somewhere over here, pretend that you're going to push in soon. So they're waiting for you to push down that tower, and while they're waiting all the way over here, your creeps are hitting their racks. So that's why Nazgul over here, they were like, no, you are not getting our Rex. Go away. And they successfully achieved that goal. Let's see if Dragon Knight over here was able to get his, no, quite close. Yes, wow. So over here, VS has Manta, which basically can split her up into three heroes. Interesting. So they have not lost all hope. Excellent hook by Punch over there. We have ES coming in, linked in. Excellent shackle by Windrunner against both of them, giving Punch the time to run and recover. We have Venom over here trying to distract them while ES is trying to get away, but they managed to get ES anyway, and it looks like Venom's efforts over there all went to waste, and he dies as well. So that was an excellent hook by Punch, caught them off guard, and ES tried to blink in, but the support over here, and that excellent shackle from Windrunner that managed to let Punch have that time to reposition himself and regain himself, and that bought their teammates time to actually back them up and basically annihilate the people over there. Not looking too good. You check the level difference now, it's actually quite huge. You have Lich over here, and I can feel Lich's pain because I play Lich a lot, I play support, and he's level 11, and you can see that Outworld Destroyer over here being played by PMS Asterisk Furryfish is almost twice his level at level 20. Imagine how painful that is. So they're going for the Rex over here. They're like, no, we want the Rex. Gonna get your Rex. We have blinking in. Oh, Dragon Knight already has his VK going after. Wow, this Punch is very tanky. Swapping. Oh my god, there's so much going on over here. We have VS going after Diodio. They managed to get her. And we have Venom and Lich running back with barely any HP left. And we have AA over here. We have AA and Venom still going after the Rex while their opponents go to heal up a bit, get more mana, get more HP. Will Viper be able to make it? Maybe not, being stunned by the VS being hit by all three of them. Wow! So this Vengeful was, oh my goodness. So they had three heroes over there, Venom, Vengeful Spirit, and Lich going after these two girls over here, AA and Viper, but Viper and AA were just doing too much damage over there, too much loss, and just poking at them. And then those three heroes from Nazgul, they're getting overconfident, probably thinking, hey, we've got three heroes here. There are only two of them. Let's go after them. And then they all died. Yeah. And one of the reasons was the three of them were going after two different heroes, so sometimes you might want to finish one off first instead of splitting up. Sometimes splitting up works when you know that your teammate can kill the other person, and therefore you go after the other hero, but sometimes it doesn't work, and in the end, you end up dying. instead of killing them. Okay, but there still is hope. I am very optimistic all the time. You can see that they weren't able to get these racks, which means that although this lane is pushing in, these creeps still are on par. And it looks like they're going after Windrunner over here. Windrunner was being very daring, thinking, hey, I've got my Windrun. I'm very good at shackling this game. Plus, I've got my Force Staff. If they come gank me, I'll be able to use my Windrun and Force Staff away. But unfortunately, all 5 of them decided to pick on her. They're like, we don't like you, Windrunner. Stop shackling us. We are going to go after you since we cannot see anyone else. And they managed to get her. So, maybe that was her just trying to distract them while her teammates were doing something else. Who knows? Let's see what items they have. But at this point, we can see that Dragon Knight does have Black King Bar. And we have VS also having a Black King Bar, which is actually quite an interesting item. But since I said that this VS is actually playing a semi-carry in this game, that's why she also has a Manta. Then that's why they're going for it. So we have AA trying to do some early damage over here and look into what they're doing. Okay, it looks like everyone is going for oh, and we have Pudge being, I think, swapped in by VS just now because they just want to get that one early kill. Pudge unfortunately gets alienated, because isolated since he got swapped by his teammates, and their teammates calculate very well, hey, let's get out of here. We do not want to engage at this point. Okay, so we have VS over here. What item is she? Well, he, the player, but the hero is a girl. What item is Vengeful Spirit going to go for next? Okay, so we have Pipe. Pipe on the Dragon Knight over there. Let's check out the... so we still have a huge level difference over here because the main support heroes of Nazgul are significantly under level, whereas you can see, although their carry heroes are almost similar levels to PMS Asterisk carry heroes, PMS Asterisk support heroes, like the lowest ones, are level 17. And their Dragon Knight is level 18, so that's pretty hard. So these green triangles, diamond thing, as you can see over here, are the ultimates. Okay, so when you play Dota 2, you can use this tab to see whether or not your teammates have ultimates. So a common problem in Dota 1 was you'd have to ask your teammates, hey, do you have your ultimate up? Okay, and sometimes if you're playing with people you don't know, you don't bother to ask, and then, or your teammates don't bother to ask you, and then they blame you. They say, hey, why didn't you use your ultimate? You know, but in this case, they shouldn't blame you because they can check themselves. And if they do, then you can blame them for not knowing that they can check.
Top tower is under attack.
Okay, so let's check out the goal difference over here. It looks at the very beginning there was only a slight goal difference due to the early pushing of Nazgul, but PMS Asterisk managed to get the hero kills and more gold and managed to push back. And we can see over here a steady increase in PMS Asterisk goal difference, giving them a huge advantage in levels, in items, making it so much more easier to push in. So we can see over here that PMS Asterisk, it looks like they might be going to push in this bottom tower over here. And there's not much that Nazgul can do at this point because their creeps have pushed out so far. So the only thing they can do is sit and wait for PMS Asterisk to either come in. Well, they do have another option, which is to engage on them, but I'm not sure if they quite want to do that. Because if they make PMS go in here, at least like the Plague Wars, do some damage. If they do the initiation, once the ES comes in here, probably will be disabled instantly. So they're just trying their very best to counter this push in here. I'm not quite sure what they can do. They probably might try to go after this Outworld. But the ES does go in, does surprise him, blinks in, but the Dragon Knight gets hooked. You have Shackle over there. The CS gets pushed out by a Force Staff. You have excellent shape bouncing in between all of these heroes. We have the OD trying to push her way out. And there's AA trying to walk away. the Windrunner shackling the Vengeful Spirit, saving the AA, and maybe they'll be able to get this Dragon Knight. And they are able, they managed to get the Dragon Knight, so it's 3-4-3. Let's see. The exchange, though, in this case, is much better for Nazgul because their semi-carry hero in this game, Vengeful Spirit, managed to live, whereas the heroes that managed to live for PMS Asterisk, Windrunner and AA. So while you think that this game is looking pretty grim for Nazgul, I am keeping optimistic. These top racks have not gone down yet. They don't need to worry too much about this pushing in while they're defending. And it looks like their heroes are slowly getting their items and leveling up. And that was a great initiation by the VS over there. He blinked in, caught them off guard. The positioning of PMS, like they were a bit spread out here, some people here, some people here. And then there's a bit of confusion with force staffs being used everywhere. And although the punch hooked someone in, instead of allowing all of PMS Asterisk go over that one hero, all of them decided to go in and engage. So it confused PMS Asterisk. They had to go, engage with these heroes that were coming in. So they weren't going after the hero that poked. Okay, so over here we have a mid creeps against creeps. Okay, so some of you might say, so the thing that I couldn't talk about, Roshan being killed. So Nazgul yet again getting Roshan's killed, and it looks like, who did they give it to? They're giving it to Vengeful Spirit again. So this time, now that Dragon Knight has more HP, almost 2k right now, he also has his Viking bar and his pipe of insight. This makes him much more tanky than he was the original time. So it makes much more sense for VS to have it this time around. Well, VS actually has more HP, but over here you can see that VS is their DPS, which actually deals a lot of damage with the Manta, and she also has a Black King bar over here, so it's pretty hard to go up against this VS, and that's why this VS has the Aegis over here, so that when she dies, she will come alive again and be able to join in the battle once more. Okay, so some of you might be thinking, hey, the Radiant has 40 kills. Dire only has 29. You know what? I've played a game where at the beginning, my team had 3 kills, the other team had 13 kills. We were under level. We lost our tier 2 towers. Ooh! Oh, a hook attempt over there, shackle, but VS distracted by using the Manta over there, creating images of herself. We have Venom trying to slither off as an animal over there. Oh, so much is going on. Yeah, Dragon Knight popping his DKP. He is over here. People trying to run away, but VS is just picking off everyone one by one. And it looks like, as just as I was saying how Nazgul can turn this game around, we see this excellent engage once more by Nazgul. Over here, they managed to pick off yet again the 3 more core heroes of PMS Asterisk, leaving the 2 more support heroes, which is what they wanted to do, while their main carry and their semi-carry DPS managed to live this fight with only 2 casualties going on. And they did not, they did lose a Aegis, but that was a well-used Aegis, and at this point, they might want to push since their opponents are dead for about 40 minutes. But I'm not quite sure if they'll be able to reach the towers, this tower that's almost dying over there, any time before they revive. We'll just have to see. So as I was saying earlier on, there is a game where we were being annihilated. I think I had an opponent who was twice my level. And do you know what I did? I warded up because I was the support hero, made sure that my carry heroes could farm, and in that game it was Spec, and he farmed up, and we ended up turning it around and killing them so many times that we had more than twice their kills. Okay, so even though you see over here it's 42-32, anything can happen, especially with the last 2 team engages. The recent one over here that you saw over here, and the one down here at bottom with PMS Asterisk trying to go in at bottom, even though maybe they should have gone for the racks over here, but it would have taken them too long to push back. to go for the Rex. So right now, it could be anyone's game. You can see that Nazgul has finally gotten those items that they so desperately needed. That backing bar on Dragon Knight so that he becomes huge. And VS is just dealing so much damage over here with her aura as well, giving more damage aura to everyone else. You know, ES being great initiator and getting his